Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 5. So, we are going to be diving into creating your abundant life, a little manifestation practice today. Before I begin, I'd love to just check in with everyone and give you a second to hop on. Please let me know if you are joining me live or if you're listening to the recording. Just put in that you're listening to the recording later so I can follow up with you and answer any questions that you may have in listening to the recording. And I'm just going to start our watch party per usual. So just give me 1 second as you hop on. And if you don't already have pen and paper next to you today, you're definitely going to want to grab some pen, grab some paper as we dive into creating your abundant life, creating your abundant future, and getting really, really clear on what that looks like for you. Okay, so it looks like you guys are starting to hop on. Hi, Brooklyn. Hi, Kira. Hi, Samantha. You guys are all excited. You made the live. I'm excited that you're here on the live stream as well. Okay, so like I said, today is day 5, creating your abundant life. I want to ask you, what is your business goal? So we're going to be working with a goal today in this manifestation practice. So we got to figure out what is it we're going to work with to start, to begin with. And when you are thinking about one goal within your business, it may be to actually launch your business, or if you already have something rolling, something started, then it may actually be a specific business goal within what you want to create. Regardless, it should follow the general guidelines of a SMART goal. Have you guys heard of SMART goals before? That's not what this lesson is on, but I do want you to keep in mind that this goal is very specific, that it is measurable, that it is achievable, that you put some sort of timeline on it and allow it to be realistic in the sense that I'm not going to say my goal is to make $1 million tomorrow because that's not very realistic. But if I'm already making 6 figures in my business and this year I want to hit multiple 6 figures, well, that's not so unrealistic. So I want you to write into the comments and let me know what is the goal that you want to work with today, and make it a good one, because we are going to infuse some pretty magical powers into this goal so that it actually happens for you and that you get to receive this in your life. Once you have your goal, and again, the goal can be that you want to launch your business, but even if it is that you want to launch your business, I want you to get more clear. What type of business do you want to launch? You don't have to have a name for it yet, but generally, what do you want to launch, with getting as specific as you can? And then when do you want to launch it by? And we're going to dive into way more details around that. If you, again, are already an empath entrepreneur, riding this roller coaster of entrepreneurship, then you might have a goal to launch your first program, because right now you are just sharing more organically on social media, and your business isn't actually quite a business yet because you're not making money. It's not monetizing. And if that's the case, you might put your first offer out there. Well, I want to get more specific with putting my first offer out there. I could say that I want to launch a group coaching program with 10 women inside, and I'd like those 10 women inside this program by June 1st, 2020. And you would add as many other details you can think of for your goal. Good. And money is a really easy one to work with here, because it inherently has numbers attached to it that make it really clear. So Alyssa says make $5,000 a month. And so I want her to simply just add a time frame on that. So would it be April 2020 or in May 2020 that you would hit that financial goal? Brooklyn says she wants to launch conch. She wants to launch her coaching business. And so that was the example I had just used. And so I want you to consider by when, and what if you know any other details or it's coming to you intuitively, what does this coaching business look like? Samantha says, figure out my biz specifics and get started. By when, Samantha? And when you say your specifics, what do you mean? How will you know when you have actually started? So this is where we're going to take this now. I want you to consider this big goal that hopefully has some of those SMART components to it. And now I want you to go inside that goal and ask yourself, how will I know when I have it? How will I know when I have it? And let me give you an example. I used the same exact process last summer. My husband and I wanted to buy a second home up in the mountains in Colorado and have an investment property and put it on Airbnb. And we went through some interesting things in the process of purchasing that home. But in the manifestation of that second home, I asked myself, how will I know when I've actually purchased that home, when it's ours? And for me, which it could be different for somebody else, but for me, it was me sitting at the kitchen table. We did a remote closing because it's up in the mountains, so they usually come down to you to close. A notary comes to your house. So I pictured myself sitting at my kitchen table with a pen in my hand, and I was signing all the million papers you have to sign when you buy a house. And so and then I saw a woman across from me, and I saw my husband beside me, and I was imagining the way the room looked and all the details. So the moment for me when I knew I would have that house was when I was at my kitchen table signing the paperwork. I want you to consider for your goal, how will you actually know when you have it? Another way of asking this question is, what's the last step that has to happen to let you know that you got it? And again, in that case, the last step was signing that paperwork. It wasn't when the realtor called and said, hey, they accepted your offer. It could have been that for somebody else. They're like, got the house. Yep. For me, it was when I signed the paper. It made it feel very real. Like I've actually achieved and received this thing in my life. So what is the evidence that you, on a personal level, need to know so that you have fully manifested and can see the full manifestation of your goals, your dreams, your desires? All right, does that make sense? So what is that very last step? So we can use Alyssa as an example, as a simple one around money. So making $5,000 a month by May. So I would say, just to get more specific, Alyssa, is it in May that you make 5K? So by May 30th, or is it by May, meaning by May 1st, you've made 5K? Regardless of which the timeline that you want to create and put on that goal, I still want you, we're going to use yours as an example. So for Alyssa, what is the last step that has to happen that lets her know she made that $5,000? Well, it could be that she opens up her business account, whether that's PayPal or a checking account or wherever she has her money, her QuickBooks, and she might see that number cross over or hit 5,000 on the nose, or anything over it. It's like, that's that moment. She's looking at her computer screen and she knows that she has hit her goal. It could also be, though, it doesn't have to be that. It could be that she's been tracking her money all month and she's at, $4,800 for the month. And the moment that she knows, the evidence that she needs to see, to experience, to know she hit her $5,000 month is when that very last PayPal notification comes through to her email for the last $200 or however many dollars that ends up needing to be to cross her over. But it's the email that she receives that she opens up, and she knows that is the email that puts her over that 5K, and she gets to celebrate that she has hit her goal. Okay. For for those of you who were using the goal of launching your coaching business, well, what is the evidence that you need to see to know you have actually launched your business? Is it that you have sent an email out to everyone who's interested saying, my business is open, the doors are open? Is it that you have changed your job title on LinkedIn or Facebook or on Instagram? You've updated your bio, or maybe it's that you've transitioned your Instagram account profile from a personal profile to a business profile within social media. Is it when you actually have received your first paying client that you know you've launched your business? So there are infinite possibilities here on how you will know that you have successfully launched a business, but I want you to really put yourself into that moment and consider, when will I know? What evidence do I need to see to know that I have done this? I have launched my business. Good. Tell me if I'm saying your name wrong, but I think it's Ansa. Ansa says her last step is, I will know when the website goes live. That's perfect. And so you can put yourself in that moment of pushing publish, and then maybe pulling up a new browser tab on your web page and loading your live web page for the very first time. But even that has two different steps. So which one, if that's what you're imagining, which one is the moment that you know? Is it when you push publish? Is it when you see your webpage live for the very first time? So you're getting as super, super, super specific as possible. Really put yourself into that moment. So the more specific you are, the easier the next questions are going to be to answer. If anyone's having any trouble, any confusion, please let me know. But to recap, we said, what is your goal? Trying to make it as smart of a goal as possible, meaning specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time sensitive, etc. And then now that we have that goal, how will you know when you have it? What is the evidence that you need to see? What is the last step that has to happen that lets you know, check that thing off the list? I have done this. I have completed this goal. I have received this goal. And you want to really narrow down. Even when I was talking about signing the paperwork for our home in the mountains, it was my pen on the paper. It wasn't the moment that the notary walked in the door. It wasn't the moment I sat down at the table to sign the paperwork. It wasn't when the paperwork was done. It was when I was signing the actual page. So you guys see how that's really specific? Really go in there, really, really, really go deep to try and find that one moment. And you can play with different situations. Like I was just saying, is it when you push publish on the website, or is it when you actually see your website loaded for the first time that you'll know you have launched your business? And you can feel into, does it feel more real when I push publish, or does it feel more real when I look at the actual website on a browser? They both feel pretty real, but looking at the web page feels most real. So I'm going to go with that one. So you can see where you can play with it a little bit and just play with your imagination to play those actual visualizations out in your mind and see how they feel. Good. Yeah, Andrea says it's when she is given Reiki, Aroma Touch, and Symphony of the Cells at her new space. Good. And so think about, in that moment of giving that healing process, or give it, like, what do I want to say? Of performing that healing technique, because it's an amazing one. I love Symphony of the Cells and I love Aroma Touch. So when you are giving that or performing that healing technique, is it the second you start? Is it when you apply the essential oils? Is it when you're finished and the person is leaving? Is it when you first lay your hands on somebody for the healing? What moment specifically is it? Good. Yeah. So Alyssa's got more specific now. It's when she's looking at her PayPal account at the end of May. So May 30th, 2020, she pulls up her PayPal account and she sees a number on that screen that is at least $5,000, and she knows that she has hit her goal. So here are the additional questions to really build what's called this internal representation of this moment that we're going to use to get really, really clear. So where are you? Alyssa's example is another, I'm just going to keep playing with it because it's specific and it's clear. So she is looking at her PayPal, but where is she? Is she in her office? Is she in her living room? Is she on her phone? Is she on her computer? Where would she be? So I want you all to answer this question. Where are you when this is happening? I was sitting at my kitchen table inside of my house when this happened. The website, or for Andrea, actually, her new space. Where is the new space? Even if you don't have it yet, what would it look like? Can you visualize it? Do you have a sense of what city it's going to be in, or where ideally it would be? The website's the same thing, like Alyssa's PayPal. Where are you going to be when you first launch that website and get to celebrate that? Next, what are you doing? So I was signing a piece of paper. Andrea, she's giving a healing session, a specific type of healing session. So that's part of what she's doing, but she might even go deeper and think, okay, I'm twisting the top off of an essential oil bottle. Alyssa's looking at her computer screen. So, what is she doing? Well, she's on her computer and she's pulling up that, logging into that account. So where are you? What are you doing? The next question is, what will you be experiencing in that moment? So we want to start to bring in some of the senses here. You can write down whatever comes to mind first and just let there be some flow of thought. What will you be experiencing in that moment? So what are you hearing? Are you hearing silence? Are you hearing music in the background? Are you hearing somebody talking to you or saying something to you? Are you hearing cars outside the window? Are you hearing your dog? What are you hearing? Are you hearing your client say, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for this session with you"? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? So we went over this a little bit in the doing, because many of you might be looking at your computer screen and seeing your PayPal account or seeing your website for the first time. But you may also be in your living room, so you're not just seeing that. You have also some peripheral images that are coming in. You see the orchid on your desk and the diffuser for your essential oils to the side, and your crystals and your sage and your books. And I'm just describing everything around me right now. So you want to think about, what will you be seeing? Even if you aren't 100% sure, because this manifestation is something you've never seen before, you can do your very best to consider, what do I think this will look like? If I had to use my imagination, what would this look like? And then how will you be feeling? So are you going to be feeling maybe like a little nervous, but also super, super, super excited? The excitement outweighs any nerves that might be there. Are you, if you do have a money goal like Alyssa, are you going to be feeling super freaking proud of yourself? Are you going to be jumping up and down with excitement? Are you going to be in shock? How are you going to be feeling? Okay. And you can even consider where you would be feeling that in your body. I'm going to be feeling really excited. And when I think about that excitement, I will be feeling, it's going to be most concentrated right in the center of my chest, this excitement that's like rumbling within me. Are you touching anything? So some of you are going to be touching your computer screen. Some of you might be touching a pen like I was. You might be touching another human being if you're doing a healing session. You might be giving somebody a hug because you're celebrating and touching. You may just be touching your own hands or your own body. Good. You guys are doing really well. Thanks for participating in the comments. All right, touching. Okay, next is what will you be saying to yourself? So are you saying, I can't believe this is real, but I can because I manifested it? Are you going to be saying to yourself, wow, I did it? Are you going to be saying to yourself, finally? Are you going to be saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I can't wait to celebrate this tonight? Are you going to be saying to yourself, this feels so fucking good? What will you be saying to yourself? Kira has a question. If it's something that is just launching, is it too much to also do a first month goal? Or should I just focus on the launch slash first booking itself? So they would just be two separate manifestations. I'm picking up that the launching you feel like at least fairly confident around, but then are people actually going to book? So just for you, Kira, I'm picking up that the more powerful internal representation that you might want to build in this exercise today would actually be the first person booking or a certain goal for 10 people booking, and make that your goal. So yeah, you're going to launch, but the big goal is not just launching, it's also getting 10 or however many people to sign up. So you can get more specific with your goal by saying, X number of people have enrolled in or booked this service, this offer that I put out into the world by May 30th, 2020, or whatever day you want to choose. And how will you know that what's the last step that has to happen that lets you know that certain number of people have actually booked with you? And then bring in all these senses and emotions that we're talking about now. Good. Okay, so where was I? What are you saying to yourself? And then there may or may not be a smell or a taste, but if there are, put them in there. If your goal has anything to do with food, there's probably going to be a taste. If you're essential oil lover like myself, you pretty much constantly have essential oils diffusing, and so there's always a little hint of oils in the air. Or if I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but if your goal is completely unrelated to business and your goal is to adopt a new dog, then you might smell dog in your goal, in your manifestation. Good. I'll be saying, I'm so dang proud of you. I'll be saying, hell yeah, more of this. Good. So what are you saying to yourself? And if any, smell or taste? And after you've answered, it's really helpful to write these down just to build this entire picture. But now I want you to, once you have all your answers to those questions and you've really built the entire sensory experience internally of this moment that gives you the evidence, that last step that now you know you have achieved your goal, we're going to step into the picture. Okay, so you wrote all your notes down. I want you to remember as much as possible in what you thought of. And now I want you to close your eyes. And this is just going to be more of a feeling exercise. So imagine stepping in to that moment like it is a picture, like a Polaroid picture. You're stepping into yourself, your body in that moment, and see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel, notice what you notice. Are there any sounds, smells, taste, thoughts, feelings? And as you fully embrace this moment that you have stepped into of your complete manifestation that is now tangible for you in your life, I want you to simply observe and look around and notice if there's anything that we could alter, switch, change, edit to help this feel even more real, even more intensified and amplified in your consciousness, so that being in this moment feels so fucking good. So consider, are you currently seeing in black and white in your picture, or are you seeing in color? And if you want to play with which one feels more real, change the colors. Or let's say it's already in color, but you want to amplify the vibrancy of the colors. Go ahead and do that. And if at any point it feels too bright, just bring the colors back down. You're experimenting here with what feels most real in your picture. Next, I want you to notice if you are near, like everything around you feels really close and near, or if everything feels kind of far away. And you might want to bring it closer, or you might want to create some more distance. Play with both. Which one, at what level of closeness feels most real to you? And then consider, is it bright or dim in your picture? Do you need to dim it? Do you need to brighten it so that it feels like this is, no question, your reality, so real in your mind? And notice if your picture is focused or slightly blurry or defocused. And again, you can play with adding some blur or focusing it even more, like under a microscope, so that it's crisp and you can see everything the way that feels most real to you. And then notice if there are things inside of your image, your picture, that are moving, or if everything is still. And consider, do you want everything to be frozen in stillness, or should there be some movement? And if there is movement, how fast is that movement that you invite in to your picture? And then if there are any noises, are they loud or are they soft? And you can always invite some noise in if it feels too soft. If it's too loud, soften that noise down to the perfect volume for you. So that again, inside of this image, this picture, you are experiencing this complete manifestation of your goal, your desire, in the most real way. And now consider, where are you experiencing feelings in your body? Whatever those feelings were that you originally wrote down, you said you would be, saying something to yourself and you would be feeling a certain way when you achieved this goal. And consider, do you feel it in your heart? Do you feel it in your fingers? Do you feel it in your toes? Do you feel it in your gut? Where do you feel the feelings in your body? And as you notice those feelings, how intense are the feelings? You can think of a scale here, 0 to 10, 10 being the most intense feelings. And do you want to turn the volume up on those feelings? Or do you want to turn the volume down on those feelings? Playing with whatever feels best for you. And now observe this picture and all the little tweaks and changes and edits that we've made to it. Breathe in how freaking good this feels in this moment with another breath. And now I want you to step out of the picture, still seeing yourself inside. You're going to step out and come back into this time-space reality as if you're holding that picture that you were just inside now in your hand. So here you are in front of your phone or computer listening to me today, but in your hand, you have every detail locked in with muscle memory into that picture, like a Polaroid, a picture in your hand. And if you did not already pick the exact day that you will achieve this goal by, I want you to consider, when is the exact day that you will have achieved this goal. You're going to need to know that day, maybe even a general time of day if you want to go that specific for the next part. So you're going to close your eyes once again and imagining you have that picture with you still. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. And imagine your higher self lifting out of your physical body, taking the picture with it, floating above you right now, right here in this moment of your life, just up above you about 10 feet. Your higher self floats and flies up there with that picture that is so clear to you on the manifestation of your desire. And allow your higher self now to turn in the direction of your future, whatever direction that is. It can be left, right, up, down, forward, back, diagonal. Turn in the direction that feels most real to be your future. And as you carry this picture with you, float above the timeline of your life out into the future until you're hovering above the day in the future that you set for this goal. You may even see a specific number on the clock or a general time of day based on the sun or the darkness or brightness in a room or wherever you are. And as you hover above that moment in time, you're going to drop this picture down onto the timeline in that moment, that exact moment of your future. As you drop this picture down with all the details encapsulated within it, you'll take 4 deep breaths to charge that up and implant it on your timeline. Breathe in. Breathe out. 3 more, charging this into your future. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more. Exhale. Feeling more real with each breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. And ask yourself, staying there for a moment longer, hovering above this picture that you've dropped down into your future, ask yourself, what will help me get there? What will help me get there? What do I need to know? What investments do I need to make? What resources will be most helpful? What will help me get here? Opening yourself up to any and all answers. See what the mind shows or tells you. And now turn back towards now along your timeline, slowly floating up above that timeline and floating all the way back to now, hovering above your body, wherever you're sitting, listening to this lesson, this training, and drop back down into your body. And as you drop back down into your body, start to reawaken your body, your integrated self, the higher self, the 3D self. And you can open your eyes, you can wiggle your body, you can stretch. And I want you to put into the comments how you feel after dropping that very clear internal representation of your manifested goal or desire into your future along your timeline, and having charged it up, and also having simply asked, what will help me? What will help me get here? Tools, resources, anything that would help you. And feel free to share those in the comments as well. And so it is, my friends. Beautiful work. So I want you to write out the internal representation that you created today in as much detail as possible, using all the different aspects of your answers and the questions that I asked. So you're going to have a paragraph. So write out that entire paragraph of that internal representation in as much detail as possible, and share it in the comments below to enter into the scholarship. It has been so much fun welcoming and celebrating all of you who have already said yes to the Empath Entrepreneur Academy. And our journey officially begins in just about a week. But today is the last day to save $200 on the training and enrollment, and also to get started for $200 as well with some of the payment plans. I can't tell you how many empaths I have seen withhold their light. And I've even heard that from some of you in these trainings, because they are afraid of outshining others, or they're afraid of the ickiness of sales and coming off as salesy, and they don't want to be that, yet they're still feeling called and led to share with the world, or be of service, or share healing with the world. And that is just old paradigm shit. It is old stories. It is not for our highest good. That is old stuff and lies. And there is not space for those fears anymore. Those fears are based on a false reality. And our priorities are shifting. And we need you as a leader on New Earth. You hold potent medicine. You have an amazing vibration. And some of you have also shared with me that you've done so much work on yourself that you do want to share now with the world. And not that you have to be at the end of your journey, because I'm not at the end of my journey, but there's probably still so much that you've gained along the journey that you do feel ready to share. And there are so many people who will benefit from you stepping into your light and shining fucking bright and saying, hey, here I am. Whoever wants a piece of this medicine, come. I'm holding space for you. The truth is that conscious, multidimensional, grounded, intuitive leaders are the next generation of millionaires and even billionaires on this planet. And I say that because when people like you create massive success, they do amazing, amazing things with their wealth, with their money, with their abundance. And I cannot wait to see what all of you create with the inspiration you have innately within you, and that medicine, that potent medicine that your body, mind, and spirit hold. Just really honored to be holding this space. And again, today is the last day to save $200 on your tuition and join us for Empath Entrepreneur Academy. We have one more day of training that starts tomorrow. I'll drop the link below for the academy, and you'll get an email reminder for your training, last training day tomorrow. Love you all, and have a beautiful rest of your day.